You have to make up the time.
Yeah, but I mean, we can only have high school made up of
And it's going to be pretty close. Simply, even though they only have 120 hours, you take their recess times off of the same ballpark.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I kind of like speak your game reverse.
Yes, yeah, they're all on registration, so they all get recorded.
Registration.
Yes.
I am sure as we get
I wonder if you'd mind if I got up on this side of
Yeah, sure don't.
down here. It's hard to get a good
maybe not.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you have an agenda?
Yep.
Okay. Are you here from the press or?
Western Reserve News.
Oh, John Dilling, Crestview. You want to meet the board? Would you like to meet them?
Well,
You will as we go through it anyhow. So.
yeah. I'll just get up when you get to start the meeting.
Okay, we're just getting ready to start. Okay, thank you. Sure, Preston. I don't know, sure where Preston is. I sent him the email, but I don't know whether he checked it. We can go ahead and start. We have to take pictures next month also.
I'd like to call this organizational meeting of the Crestview Local Board of Education to order. If you would stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order of business here. We will administer the oath of office to re-elected board members John Garwood and Dr. Edward Miller. They would stand. They have before them respected. They would read that, please.
Do you guys want to do it together or separate? Okay, John, why don't you, we can go ahead and get started with you together, I guess.
I, John Garwood, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties as board member in and for the said Crestview Local School District, Columbiana County, Ohio, to the best of my ability and in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during my continuance in said office until my successor is chosen and qualified.
Thank you, Mr. Garwood. Dr. Miller?
I, Dr. Edward Miller, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties as board member in and for the said Crestview Local School District, Columbiana County, Ohio, to the best of my ability and in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during my continuance in said office and until my successor is chosen and qualified.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. order of business, we'll have the elections of officers for 2014. Do I have a motion for president for 2014?
Roll call.
Yes, that's correct. Charlene, will you call the roll, please?
Garwood.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Bonnagle.
Yes.
Weicker.
Here.
Strange.
Now we'll have the election of officers for 2014. Do I have a motion for president for the officers for 2014?
I move John Garwood.
Garwood,
Second.
second. Any further discussion? Or we can call the roll.
Garwood.
Is it appropriate to abstain?
Yeah.
Abstain.
Miller.
Yes.
Bonnagle.
Yes.
Weicker.
Yes. Motion carried. With that, I will turn this meeting over to President John Garwood.
Thank you, Mr. Weicker. Appreciate your vote of confidence, and I will strive to live up to your expectations. Is there a motion for Vice President?
I move Dr. Edward Miller.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Charlene, would you do the roll call, please?
Miller.
Abstain.
Bonnagle.
Yes.
Weicker.
Yes.
Garwood.
Yes. Congratulations. Committee appointments. The first name on each committee will be the chair. Buildings and Grounds, Mr. Bonnagle. Garwood. Athletic Council, Garwood, Mr. Tucker. Not yet. Yeah.
Just say you.
Personnel, Mr. Bonnagle. Garwood. Policy, Dr. Miller. Finance Audit, Dr. Miller. Communications, Mr. Weicker. Garwood. Superintendent's Advisory Committee, Mr. Weicker, Mr. Miller. Insurance Committee, Mr. Bonnagle, Mr. Weicker. Is there any issues with that? Everybody's okay with the way that these are set up? I appreciate your willingness. I would like to accept a motion to designate the Morning Journal as the board's official newspaper.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Charlene, roll call, please.
Miller.
Yes.
Weicker.
Yes.
Bonnagle.
Yes.
Garwood.
Yes. Legal services. I would like to request a resolution that the board employ the firm of Britton Smith Peters and Khalil Company, LPA, as legal counsel, and hereby authorize the superintendent, treasurer, and board president to engage the services of said firm on an as-need basis. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Charlene, the roll call, please.
Weicker.
Yes.
Bonnagle.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Garwood.
Yes. The service fund, I would like to request the board establish the Board of Education Service Fund in the amount of $5,000. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Charlene, roll call, please.
Bonnagle.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Weicker.
Yes.
Garwood.
Yes. To set the regular meeting date and time of our board meetings, I would like to request the board for the second Wednesday of each month at 7 o'clock p.m. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Charlene, roll call, please.
Bonnagle.
Yes.
Weicker.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Garwood.
Yes. Acquisition of surplus property and federal programs. I would request the board to designate the superintendent and/or his designee to be in charge of the acquisition of surplus property and to be responsible for all federal program applications and reports. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Charlene, roll please.
Miller.
Yes.
Bonnagle.
Yes.
Weicker.
Yes.
Garwood.
Yes. employment of personnel, I would like to request the board to authorize the superintendent to employ personnel as needed in emergency situations. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Charlene, roll please.
Weicker.
Yes.
Bonnagle.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Garwood.
Yes. I would like to request the board to authorize the superintendent to act as purchasing agent for the Board of Education within annual appropriations and to make necessary purchases in case of emergencies. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Charlene, roll please.
Bonnagle.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Weicker.
Yes.
Garwood.
Yes. I would like to request the board to authorize the superintendent and athletic director to approve personal service contracts for athletic events. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Who was
Any-
it? Mr. Weicker.
Mr. Weicker? Any discussion? Charlene, the roll please.
Miller.
Yes.
Weicker.
Yes.
Bonnagle.
Yes.
Garwood.
Yes. Travel employees, I would like to request the board to authorize the superintendent to approve travel of employees to conduct official school business and/or attend authorized professional meetings. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? The roll please, Charlene.
Miller.
Yes.
Bonnagle.
Yes.
Weicker.
Yes.
Garwood.
Yes. Student Achievement Liaison, I would recommend to appoint Dr. Miller to serve as OSBA Student Achievement Liaison for 2014. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Charlene, the roll please.
Miller.
Steve.
Bonnagle.
Yes.
Weicker.
Yes.
Garwood.
Yes. Legislative Liaison, I'd like to recommend to appoint Jim Weichert to serve as OSBA Legislative Liaison for 2014. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Charlene, the roll please.
Weicker.
Yes.
Bonnagle.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Garwood.
Yes. If there's nothing else to come before, we will adjourn this portion of it. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Make that motion?
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Charlene, the roll please.
Bonnagle.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Weicker.
Yes.
Garwood.
Yes.
If we're ready to move right into the regular meeting.
Okay. Do the roll call again there. Charlene, would you do the roll please?
Garwood.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Bonnagle.
Yes.
Weicker.
Yes.
Here.
Yes.
I got you.
Mr. Dilling, if you would talk to...
Yes, I'd like to request the board appoint Braden Tucker to the Crestview Board of Education.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Charlene, the roll please.
Miller.
Yes.
Bonnagle.
Yes.
Weicker.
Yes.
Garwood.
Yes.
Step on up. Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations.
Welcome aboard.
We're going to wait until you get administered the oath of office. Congratulations.
Over here. You leave my computer over there, okay?
On the agenda.
No, I have one, sir.
What did you get, Mr. Jim?
You need to stand. Stand.
We'll go ahead and administer the oath of office for our new board member, Mr. Braden Tucker. You have the oath of office in front of you, so if you could please read that.
I, Braden Tucker, do solemnly swear that I support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties as board member and said Crestview Local School District, Columbiana County, Ohio, to the best of my ability in accordance with laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during my continuance in said office until my successor is chosen and qualified.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank
Tucker.
you.
Congratulations.
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 Thank you.
Get a different view from here rather than out there.
Yeah, it's getting uncomfortable out there.
It's not as comfortable up here.
Public participation. In February, the Crestview Board of Education will be voting on the 2014-15 school calendar. Tonight, the board welcomes comments on the calendars as we plan for the next school year. The calendar that is proposed is similar to this year's calendar and is consistent with an effort to provide a similar calendar countywide. Would anyone wish to make comments on the proposed 2014-2015 school calendar?
I think all of the board members have a copy of the calendar, and if anybody in the audience would like a copy, I would provide that for them. The calendar is on a similar basis as the calendar that we've operated on this year. As you know, beginning July 1st, 2014, all Ohio schools are required to move to an hour basis on their calendar rather than days. The calendar that I'm providing you would provide us with 1,111 hours. That's contingent upon them allowing us to count the change of classes. So we're going to be monitoring that. The legislature hasn't been clear in that part of the law yet, so we're still waiting to hear that. Regardless, this calendar will put us over the required number of hours that we would be required to have. This is a calendar that most of the county schools is going to adopt or are planning on adopting at this point. This would allow us to be consistent in transportation for the ESC and the Career Center. So we think that it's prudent to look at a calendar that's going to be similar to other schools in the county. So if there's no comments, if I receive no comments, it's already been reviewed by both the OPSI and by the Teachers Association. If there's no other comments, I'll be bringing a motion to you next month to adopt the calendar as you see it tonight.
Very good. Is there anyone of the students here?
No. You need to do
Yes, I did. Deanne, would you be kind enough to come on up, please? As President of the Crestview Board of Education, I would like to read the following resolution recognizing Deanne Johnson as a member of the Ohio School Boards Association 2013 Media Honor Roll. Whereas in each community, the public schools are shaped by the community to provide the most appropriate and effective education for the school children who attend those schools. And whereas public schools are dependent upon the community support in countless ways, including support in setting goals for our children and establishing successful volunteer and booster programs at our schools for funding faculties and operations, facilities and operations, and in the election of qualified school board members. And whereas much of the community's knowledge and opinions about the Crestview schools depend on responsible reporting by our local news media representative, who decide which news to share with the community and how much attention will be focused on various issues and what the tone to the reporting will be. Therefore, be it resolved that the Crestview School District Board of Education names Deanne Johnson of the Morning Journal to the 2013 Ohio School Boards Association Media Honor Roll, calling attention to ongoing, responsible, and exemplary nature of reporting on the Crestview schools. We express our appreciation for your balanced and accurate approach to sharing with this community both the challenges facing our schools and the successes achieved by the staff and students. Your work has aided the Crestview community in focusing on the goal of providing the best schools that we can for every child who attends them and helps keep our schools the heart of our community. Deanne, I'd like to present this to you, and what it says the OSBA Media Honor Roll Crestview Local recognizes Deanne Johnson of the Morning Journal for fair and balanced education reporting and exemplary service to our community. Congratulations and thank you. Anything that you would like to add?
No.
A reporter that doesn't have anything to say?
Nothing to say.
Daryl, can we get a picture? Oh, here.
Very diverse.
I almost did.
I appreciate it. It's nice for you guys to do. I appreciate it.
We appreciate it. All the
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I do.
We're going to do stuff.
I should know this drill, right? Yeah.
One more step.
Right off. Thank you.
You have before you a copy of the items considered for tonight's consent agenda. Would any board member wish to remove any item to be considered separately? Hearing none, is there a motion to accept?
So.
Dave, second?
Second.
Jim? Any discussion? Charlene, the roll, please.
Miller,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Weichert,
Yes.
Bonnagle,
Yes.
Garwood.
Yes. Treasurer's requests and recommendations not included in the consent agenda. Charlene?
Item number 1, I'd like to request approval of the financial reports and investments as prepared and presented.
A motion?
So moved.
A second? Second. Any discussion? The roll, please, Charlene.
Tucker,
Yes.
Weichert,
Yes.
Bonnagle,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Garwood.
Yes.
Item number 2, I'd like to request the board accept the following donation from the PTO of $295 for the COSI assembly.
Is there a motion?
Yes. So moved.
Jim, a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Charlene, the roll, please.
Tucker,
Yes.
Bonnagle,
Yes.
Weichert,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Garwood.
Yes.
The only other item I had was the tax budget, which you approved under the consent agenda, and we talked about briefly. I don't think anybody had any questions. If you do, just let me know. But I will be sending that down to the county auditor's office.
We don't need it.
I just was thinking.
And Mr. Miller's one.
I'll include Grace at the top of my notes.
Okay. Board reports, Career Center. Mr. Atkins says that they will be holding the Bar Association luncheon this month down in the newly remodeled restaurant. And as far as being open to the public, he said in the near future. He didn't have a date on that yet. Other than that, it's pretty quiet. Student Achievement Liaison Report.
Okay. This month's report dealt with something called the Talent Transfer Initiative. It was implemented in 10 districts in 7 states. And basically what it was is seeing if you could improve students' achievement if you took higher rated teachers. And basically what they looked at is high value added teachers and filling vacancies in underperforming school districts to see if you could improve the test scores. The take-home point was that they actually did improve it by 4 to 10 percentile points in the elementary schools, did not move it in the middle schools. It was actually a pretty big dollar. They gave them $20,000 in installments over a 2-year period to get them to move. But the interest, well, maybe not necessarily the interest. Actually, in order to get people to move, I think for the number of vacancies, they filled 81 vacancies. To fill those 81 vacancies, they targeted 1,514 teachers. So an overwhelming majority of the candidates actually did not even complete the process. You know, like 80% of people basically didn't even look at it. One of the other issues was the fact that however, after the $20,000 was paid out, their retention rates of those teachers in their school districts were not really any better. Basically, you know, I mean, not to sound cynical about the whole thing, but it was probably younger teachers who weren't necessarily tied down and looking to make an extra $20,000 in 2 years, because after that they kind of went back on their way. They weren't necessarily tied to the school system. There is some talk of how it says the calculations suggest that the transfer incentive in elementary would save approximately $13,000 per grade school compared with class size reduction, which I got to be honest, that whole analytical evaluation of paying the money and how much it was saving was, I did get a little lost there. I don't know if you got any more out of that than I did, but you know, and the whole financial incentive kind of thing lost me a little bit. That was this month's brief.
Very good, thank you. Legislative report, Mr. Weicker.
Yes, I got online just to kind of educate myself, as I was on this committee a while back, but hadn't tremendously been involved in it. But as I look down through here and make a quick count of the pending and enacted legislation for the 130th Ohio General Assembly, there were 61 total different House bills here, and they seem bent on doing a lot of legislation for a lot of different things in a lot of different areas. They span from security to health issues to budgetary items and so on and so forth. Some that are of course, they've been on hiatus during much of December for the holidays. Some of the things we talked about last year, and a lot hasn't changed since then, but you know, of course, we talked a lot about the diabetes bill, House Bill 264, diabetes bill, and that there'll be trained personnel, to identify hypoglycemia, hyperglycemia, and trying to tell the difference between the two, and those type of issues, and somebody to always be in attendance that has that prescribed training, even down to bus drivers and so on and so forth. So that's going to be a challenge, I think.
Did it pass?
Pardon?
Did it pass?
They're still pending.
House Bill 296, we talked, of course, about the epinephrine, administering that in emergency situations. And that's still pending as well. There was, on the hot seat, I guess, House Bill 215 is legislation that would authorize the Board of Education to to enter into an agreement with a current or retired law enforcement officer to volunteer at a school in exchange for a tax credit for his or her services. So that legislation has been voted out of the House of Education Committee and it was later passed by the House. So the bill now heads over to the Senate for committee hearings. So it's getting closer to being enacted. So at any rate, as I say, a lot of things were on, there was a lot of attendance in the General Assembly during December, so a lot hasn't changed, but that's some of the things that we keep our eyes on as we go forth. And as we heard down at the Capitol Conference, you know, we sat in on a couple of legislators that kind of had the opinion that, well, we've kind of hit on schools enough, we're going to move on to somebody else now. So that's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Weichert. Did Preston leave anything?
No, he didn't. So.
Okay, we'll move on to board committee reports, buildings and grounds. Mr. Bono.
No report at this time.
Athletic Council report. Personnel, Mr. Bono.
No report at this time.
Policy, Dr. Miller.
No report at this time. No, we don't have anything scheduled.
No, we're working on policy for drug testing. I hope to have that for you by the end of the month. Maybe by February we'll be able to start looking at some considerations.
Finance audit, Dr. Miller.
We don't have anything. Nothing on the horizon either.
We will be working on management goals and objectives through the administration, and John will probably be setting some meetings like March or April.
Probably late March.
So administration will be working on that. So
Really low on the horizon.
So any thoughts you have, you can pass them on.
Communications, Mr. Weichert.
I have no report at this time.
Superintendent's Advisory Committee, Mr. Weichert.
We will be having one
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. I have no report other than we will have a report. Sure.
Very good. We'll have one next time.
Yes.
Very good. Insurance Committee, Mr. Bono.
No report at this time.
At administrative reports, Mrs. Dangerfield.
It's been a while since we've actually been in session, since December 20th. December was a busy month. That last week before Christmas break was super busy and lots going on. And now I know our teachers are looking forward to being back in session tomorrow because they've been calling me and texting me like crazy and they want to be here. They're getting tired of being home. The biggest thing that's on my agenda that I think is good news is item number 2 under staff. There's some extra funds that were available from the third grade guarantee literacy grant through the ESC. And so instead of having our literacy coach 2 days a week, they have provided us with enough money to have her 3 days a week. So we're very happy about that. Her name is Heather Yoho. She's already been with us, but she'll be with us 3 days a week. And they're also giving us $1,000 for a family literacy night that we're going to be planning for probably March. We had our traditional collection of 4 C's, did very well with that. I also wanted to thank our teachers publicly. With parent-teacher conferences being cut short because of the weather and ended at 6 p.m., there were still a lot of parents that wanted to meet with teachers, and they did that on their own time, either before or after school. But when it was all said and done and we tried to take count of how many parent-teacher conferences we had, we think we had 349, which is about what we normally have. We're getting ready for our after-school learning program coming up in February. I need 2 more teachers to apply for that supplemental. So far I have 2 teachers that have already applied. Other than that, we're just looking forward to getting back in session tomorrow and getting on with learning and I can't believe that this Friday is the end of the second 9-week grading period. That means the first semester is done this Friday. So it's just going fast. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Richardson.
Yeah, my report, I was going to spend a few minutes talking about the new testing procedures that will be taking place next year. Instead of the Ohio Achievement Assessments, we'll be doing online testing. The Partnership for Assessment of Readiness for College and Careers will be testing grades 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we are a pilot district this spring. We'll be testing math and language arts in all 4 grades at the middle school. There are 2 different tests we're going to give. One is called a performance-based assessment, and that's a test given 3/4 of the way through the school year, just to see where the students are at that time. And then there will be another test given at 95% of the school year, and that's the end of the year exam, and that's the one that will actually count. So there's like a pre-assessment given 75% of the school year, and then a final test near the end of the school year. So we're going to be a pilot district for all 4 grades and both tests, so we're excited about that. Also, we are a pilot district for the Ohio Department of Education. They're going to be giving a science and social studies test online, again, starting next year. We are a pilot district this spring for 5th grade science, 6th grade social studies, and 8th grade science. So we'll be seeing how our students do and also getting our students used to taking online tests. So we're excited to see how that goes in the spring. Any questions?
Thank you. Mrs. Dixon.
Hello, next month we'll have 4 students of the month. It just wasn't too conducive. I haven't seen the kids since December 20th. Intervention time is here for OGT students, sophomores and seniors. This is a very, very busy time for them. It's a busy time for all students, but most especially those 2 groups. Sophomores are gearing up for their OGT. We're starting intervention beginning next Monday. Students pre-tested, their scores were calibrated by our tutor, Mrs. Garwood, before Christmas, and study packets were sent home with the students in December so that they could begin to prepare for the OGT. They will be separated into groups and go through a little bit of tutoring on areas where they may need to strengthen, and that will continue until the OGT time. They'll be moving in and out of this intervention as they become more comfortable with the tests and achieve higher scores on the practice exams. It's a tense time for sophomores all over the state of Ohio, but our goal is to make them feel comfortable with taking that type of assessment, and this is the first time they've had such a high-pressure assessment in their lives. And the comfort zone is the main thing. We feel that the base knowledge is there, but it's a lot of pressure for the kids. Seniors, this is the time where they are completing their FAFSA. We're going to have a FAFSA meeting night. And we combine with Latonia and Columbiana high schools, and we have meetings if students want to attend, but Mr. Miller is also available, and myself to help them as they're doing their FAFSA. Last minute ACT time. And decision-making time, which is a hard thing. This is the time they need to really be making some choices for their future. A lot of events are happening. This homecoming will be this Saturday, which is 2 days of preparation. So the homecoming committee is a little abuzz about this, but we are going to be having an assembly on Friday, and our homecoming dance will be this Saturday. It's just a little bit early this year. And so I put some important dates there. Please know that you're always invited to the functions that the students are doing. They're always a good thing to see. Did you have any questions?
Thank you. Special education, Mr. Hill. I'm going to try to claim amnesia because I know you don't have anything in front of you from me. This snuck up on me, to say the least. But I said some things to me, and I want to personally and publicly thank Mr. Dilling and Charlene for finding some funds for a program that one of our teachers, Mr. Perry, well, not just him, but Mr. Perry and Mrs. Miller were really involved in looking up what was called IXL. I excel, and I'm going to kind of tag along what Mr. Richardson said, and also maybe include Darrell. But we've always talked about technology, implementing technology, getting students used to using technology. And what it is, it's an intervention and extension program that students can utilize online to really take a look at state standards. So teachers can see where they're weak, they can assign them to a strand, they can work on it, and when they get to 85th percentile in that strand, it'll bump them to the next one. So it creates intervention, and also on our gifted end population, our students that we want to extend their achievement as well, gives us some reinforcement. To give you some numbers, the very first night, and this is only 2 classes, we had a trial for 30 days with 2 classes, and that was Mrs. Miller and Mrs. Hill's class that Mr. Perry implemented. The first night we had over 4.5 hours of approximately 45 students, 48 students that were on. Since then, over break we had 21 hours and 35 minutes and 1,348 problems, and 20 skills were worked on for those students. And to this point, we have over 218 hours, 41,312 problems that the students have worked on, and 84 skills have been reinforced through that program. So I guess what I'm doing, I'm saying it's a great thing that we're starting, and I'm making a plug for Mr. Miller to say, because he'll come to you, technology, technology, technology. Hardware for students to utilize. That's one thing that we talked about, and he's going to be able to help me support that because it's all web-based down there that we talked about before break. So I'm anxious to see that program up and running, but we ended up getting it for about 1/4 of the cost because we said we wanted to do it at trial, and we're going to implement it now at both 3rd and 4th grade instead of just the 4th grade, since we've seen so much success at that trial basis in those 2 classes. But thank you publicly, and hopefully we'll see results on the 3rd grade OAA and the 4th grade OAA. Questions? Thank you. Mr. Cusey.
I know I didn't formally type anything up for you because a couple of things actually just came up. Positive things, Tyler Hall was able to place in the Salem tournament for the wrestling team in the top 4 in his weight class 195, which is one of the toughest in the state. So that's a great job by Tyler. We had 2 football players that were selected for the North-South All-Star game, Josh McDade and Colin Gilbert, which also puts them to be eligible for the Ohio versus Michigan All-Star game, so they could be selected for that. So that's a huge accomplishment for those 2. That's the first time we've ever had any All-Stars in the North-South All-Star game, so that's a great recognition for not only them, but for us as well. And today we had the ITCO ADs meeting, and luckily I was able to reschedule all of our events that were canceled the last couple of days. I think it was 12 or 13 events, and I got 12 of the 13 rescheduled already, so we're good to go there, and I'll be getting those out to everyone and hopefully not mess up the new schedule. But other than that, that's all I have. Any questions?
Thank you. Mrs. Pettiford.
Happy New Year. Here we go. Just a couple things. You do have my board report before you, so if you have any questions on that, I'll be glad to answer. Other than that, I just wanted to let you know that I got the letter just this week from HPS. That's our co-op that we use through GFS. And for the pricing for the second half, they said that they will be going to 0.33% raise in prices, which on $100, that's like 33 cents. So I didn't think that was too bad in cost and going up on cost, because they are our major GFSs who I buy from most. So anyhow, I wanted to let you know that. And then the second thing I wanted to let you know, I just received an email from the USDA has permanently eliminated the grain and protein maximum. This is huge for us as food service, because that was the biggest thing, challenge, because when we went in to do the certification, or I did, to get the approval on the lunches for the week, we were always over on our grain, and sometimes meat, but mostly grains. So they did lifted that for us last year, but now they're going to make it a permanent. So that will help in counting and getting our approval for our lunches. So that was a big thing, so I was glad to see that. Now, the only other thing I wanted to make you aware of is we started the year out coming back today. I have both of my coolers down, both of my freezers down, had to move some stuff around, but called in our refrigeration guy and got him up. The reason he said that coolers went down is the Freon that they use in it. When it gets to that temperature, zero, it's just kind of like, I think the way he explained it, it kind of evaporates, right? It thickens, that's what, okay. So it doesn't run at all. So what's our chances that the weather gets this cold? But we did have to move some things around, but they are back up and running. So 3 weeks with no school, and then the last day we had all that coming back in. So other than that, we're ready to get started and anxious to get going with feeding the kids. Any questions? Okay.
Thank you. Technology, Mr. Miller?
I'm not going to say a whole lot, I'm fighting a little bit of a head cold, but we just took over Breaker. We got moved forward with getting more cameras placed, and also the door entry system up here is about 90% done, so we're finally got up. We're seeing that. They were on site, but then they got pulled out because of the weather. There was a couple of hot topics that came in the South Hospital and they had to pull the crew out. We're much closer to being almost done, so see you guys in the next meeting.
Thank you.
Daryl, you want to update them on a little bit on the call-out system? Isn't that?
Yeah, as you know, when we have these call-offs, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have our website, and we also have text and email. Just on Facebook alone, we had 1,082 people come view our posting for call-off. So the amount of traffic that goes there to see when we call off is immense. And then signed up for our texting is 600 and some. So I mean, it's an immediate way. Once John called me within 5 minutes, emails have gone out, texts have gone out, Twitter's gone out, Facebook's gone out. And then also a few places on our website. As soon as you bring up a website, there's a mark bar across the top. They'll say when we're closing, and there's also a posting on each page that says when we're closing. So I mean, we're really, but basically enough, we still have parents who sit and think they don't know that we're closed. So we go door to door and start knocking. I guess that's going to be the issue. But yeah, we'll get like so Facebook has just been a huge avenue for us to get to our population.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Ford.
No, Ron's here. I don't know. Ron, is it a report?
Aye.
Okay, it's included in your packet.
Okay. Mr. Radden?
Good evening. While people were on vacation, we got quite a bit done. It's been really good. We got a lot of painting done, both cafeterias, high school, middle school, several restrooms, hallways. Got a lot of things. And that's the time we change all of the filters, every filter, everything that we do. A lot of preventive maintenance was done, so it was outstanding. A lot of things that we were fighting against. I want to let the board know that our Waterford Fire Department on Saturday, we had a sprinkler head go out, and it was a big mess. And those guys were fantastic. They got here. I mean, they work, and they're such a good, pleasant people to work with. And they had squeegees, and they were going at it, and we had a little bit of water problem. I don't know if it was temperature or just that it's failed, but Saturday I got a phone call at my house. It was beep, 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 but everything was going crazy. So I got over here, and the sprinkler system that was between the two doors in the front it gave out, and it was putting out water. And the Waterford Fire Department was here quickly, and they were really good. So I want to give an attaboy to the fire department because they're really a great group of people, and they'll do whatever it takes to get a job done. Whether it's mopping floors, and they've helped us out several times with the other floods and everything. So I know a lot of times we don't give credit where it's due, and I think they deserve some credit for their hard work and how quickly and diligent they are here at Crestview. Today was a very exciting day. Quite a few things going, but everything was going good. Good teamwork. Got some leaks fixed, and the coolers and the freezer were done, and several rooms that were done. Got the buses going, and it was a really crazy day. We had a blower go out in the sewer plant, but at the end of the day, I think it was about 2:30 when I went up to John. Everything was good, and we're ready to have school tomorrow. So, but they did a really good job of doing some extra cleaning, extra things. This is really nice time for custodians to get things accomplished when they go on break. So a lot of things were good. So it's been a good couple of weeks for us. Any questions? Any questions?
And busy. Thank you. Superintendent's report, Mr. Dillon.
Oh, I just want to, first of all, thank Jay, because today was kind of hectic with everything happening early this morning. We had heat out in several of the classrooms. We had a water line break. The fire alarms were going off. We had buses that wasn't starting. As Jay said, everybody kind of pitched in to try to make that, get everything corrected. We were trying to have school, but it just got to be too close to the time where we would be bringing students in, so that's the reason we canceled. The one thing about Saturday and the fire, the sprinkler head going out, the good thing is we know that the system works because the fire department did respond very quickly, and they were here and were able to correct the problem along with our custodial staff. So it's nice to know that all of that worked, so it was a good test, if nothing else.
That sprinkler system is pressurized tank.
Yes. And as soon as that sprinkler head burst, it set off the fire alarm. And I got to tell you another thing too. The fire department was very complimentary of Coach Herman Miller and people that were in the building, because they all evacuated. As soon as the alarm went off, a lot of times when an alarm goes off, especially when it's cold outside, they want to go see where the problem is. But they didn't do that. They went right outside. And, that speaks volumes to the fact that we do try to drill constantly to have them realize that when the alarm goes off, you get out of the building right away. And they did respond in the right manner. So.
How long was it before they brought back in then?
I don't know, probably about a half an hour or so they were out. Some of the kids, the JV game had just ended, so they were actually still in the process of changing, and they were putting their clothes on as they were going out. I mean, getting dressed as they were going out. So, but once we knew what the problem was, they were able to come back in and finish. We even had some practices. Daryl had his computer club, their gaming night that night, so everything went on as planned after that. And it was a good drill. It was a good drill.
Okay. You didn't have any electricity problems or any outages during the last cold?
No, we were fortunate. That's the one thing that we do worry about, especially when it's cold. A couple of other items that I have for you. On Tuesday, we had Brewer and Garrett here, and they installed data loggers. We're considering doing a House Bill 264 project for light sensors, and this is Jay Radman's idea. I've got to give kudos to Jay for thinking of this. It's a way that we can also save some energy and eventually save some money. And the whole idea of the data loggers is to see how often we have classrooms that are unoccupied with the lights on. So it will determine whether there's somebody in that classroom or in that hallway or in this auditorium with the lights still being on. So it monitors whether there's actually movement in the room and whether or not the lights are on. It will shut them off after 10 minutes if there's no movement in the room. So we're going to test that. They will gather the data and see whether it's going to be economical to put the light sensors in and whether or not we can save some money in the long run with that. Board member in service, I mentioned that to you early. We do have a January 17th deadline, so if you're interested in attending the Career Center for that in-service, please let me know by the 17th. As I said, I will be going along with Braden. Race to the top, we're coming to the end, and as a result of that, we had our annual review several months ago, and as a result of that review, they've chosen Crestview as one of the schools that they're going to be featuring, and they really wanted to feature the increase that we've had in AP offerings. And I think I shared with you, a few years ago, we only had one student that was taking the AP test. We only had one student that was involved in an AP program, and that number has gone up substantially since that time. So, again, congratulations to Linda Dixon for pushing AP classes and encouraging teachers to get their AP license, and for what we're doing with Race to the Top and encouraging students to take that as an option. So I think that's all I have. I'd like to move into my agenda items. Item number 1, I'd like to request that the board approve expenses for the board members to attend the county board member training on January 29th, 2014.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Charlene, roll call, please.
Honorable?
Yes.
Weichert?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Tucker?
Yes.
Garwood?
Yes.
Item number 2, I'd like to request the board approve the purchase of one new school bus from Canton Truck Supplies at the price established by the Elma Lisa Bus Bid Purchasing Program.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
The base bid price for a bus, and I'm going to give you just one that'll be similar to, it's a Myers 72 passenger, would be $73,556. Now that's with none of the options. The transportation supervisors, Ken and Ron, will be reviewing the options on that bus, and will be giving you a final price after that has been concluded.
One of the reasons why we don't need to solicit bids ourselves is Amarisa goes out and solicits statewide for the minimum to get the best price on every different brand of bus. So we are allowed through the state, since we're a member of them, to just use their bid process and use their bid results without having to do it on our own, which saves us some time. And so we do appreciate being a part of that group. So we wouldn't be able to get any better price than what they're already getting. So.
Do you think at some time in the future will there ever be an effort to have that same arrangement, only having perhaps natural gas buses?
Yes, actually, propane and natural gas is an option that you can choose.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And we're still moving forward on looking at natural gas. Actually, we had a meeting on December 17th, and they're gathering information and looking at possibilities. There were several school districts that are interested, and us being one of them. So, hopefully that's going to be something that comes to fruition. The real challenge right now, as I've told you before, is the filling stations.
Any further discussion? Charlene, roll please.
Miller?
Yes.
Tucker?
Yes.
Weichert?
Yes.
Honorable?
Yes.
Garwood?
Yes.
The last item I have is just a proclamation. January is School Board Recognition Month, and I do want to, first of all, thank each of you for your service to our schools. And I'd like to read this resolution. Whereas it shall be the mission of the Crestview Local School District to provide all students with the best possible education, and whereas the school board sets the direction for our community's public schools by envisioning the community education future, and whereas the school board sets policies and procedures to govern all aspects of the school district and operation, and whereas the school board keeps attention focused on progress toward the school district's goals and maintains a two-way communications loop with all segments of the community, and whereas serving on a school board requires an unselfish devotion of time and service to carry on the mission and business of the school district, and whereas the school board must respond on behalf of the community to the educational needs of students, and whereas the school board voluntarily accepts the above-mentioned responsibilities, now therefore be it resolved that I, John Dilling, do hereby proclaim January 2014 as School Board Recognition Month in Crestview Local School District. I encourage all citizens to to publicly and privately thank the school board members in this community for their dedicated service to our children. And again, on behalf of the administration, we want to thank you for your service to our schools. We appreciate everything that you do and all of the time that you put into helping us to achieve. We do have a little certificate and gift for you. So again, thank you very much for your service. We appreciate it greatly. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Thank you for part of our board. Thank you.
Before we adjourn, do you want to talk about that?
Yes, you.
We just voted on the second Wednesday of each month. For the month of February, let me check and see. This is the third Monday we're talking.
February 12th would be our regular board meeting. What Mr. Garwood is indicating is he has a problem with that date because he's going to be out of town. So, our alternate board meeting date is usually the third Monday, and I think he's asking if that would work for his 17th. Yeah, and that is President's Day, so it's a day where we're not in school, but we would still be able to have a board meeting if you so desire.
If it's an issue with anybody, make other arrangements.
So be it.
Works for me.
I don't know how far you're looking ahead, but I won't be here that second Wednesday in July.
We'll deal with that as we get closer to July.
Okay, if you would mark your calendars in for February 17th, I appreciate that, 7 o'clock.
Now, I do have, I just checked this. Are you scheduled?
Yes.
That's not going to probably work for you for your building improvement.
I've been telling my building improvement team the date of the 12th, but
Okay,
I
we
will
may
talk
move-
to them.
Yeah, we may, if that doesn't work, we'll move it back to March and just shift everybody back. Okay?
I'll
Then
talk
you
to
go
them
to
because I
March,
know that's President's
April,
Day.
May, and we can always get Daryl in June, so we can go through.
That would be,
Well, that could do too. You know, I mean, that also is balanced. So that's okay.
Okay.
Hour and a half into the presidency, they're great ways.
Okay.
The power of the president.
With that being said, is there anything else to be brought before the board? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Charlene, your roll, please.
Miller,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Bonnagle,
Yes.
Weicker,
Yes.
Garwood.
Yes. Thank you.